Hello, I'm Kelly. Today I want to talk to you about a documentary that I saw on Netflix about this guy named Billy Milligan. He used to have like 10 different personalities, and people believe that because he suffered from severe child abuse when he was a child, this could fragmentize his personality, and his life was very hard because, well, he used to live with his mother and two siblings. Her mother got married, and this guy was an alcoholic and jealous man and used to beat her and also her kids. But in time, he chose Billy, and he used to abuse Billy in all ways possible. He abused him physical and sexually. Even there is a witness that saw once where Billy was underground. Her stepfather almost buried him, and he was crying and asking for help. She didn't do anything because she was afraid of this guy. And in the meantime, Billy was buried, almost buried. He be on top of Billy. So I believe that this kind of things that Billy went through made him become this guy, like with this type of disorder, like DID, dissociative identity disorder, or multiple personality disorder. So when he was like 22 years old, he was arrested because he kidnapped, robbery and rape of three women in Ohio, and he was arrested. So he has almost all his life in this kind of places, fighting for his freedom in psychiatrist facilities or even jail. But he won the one that was when he was in court. He was the only person, I believe, in time that was declared not guilty for those crimes that he committed. So he won that, and that's why he went to a psychiatrist facility, minimum security. So with time and good behavior, they give him like permissions or passed, and he could go outside to the community, go around wherever he wanted. So people were mad about this because in all the process that he used to do this kind of things, he always were in newspapers, in the news, on TV, but no one talk about the victims, the really victims here. So that was something that it seems like unfair for them. They survived, really. And even though he committed murder, well, it's something that everyone like has in their mind, but nobody really know because they never found a body, so it's only a disappearance. But I believe that sometimes, well, people get used to that if you go to jail and you do your time in there, it's fair enough that you can have a second chance when you get out of there. You can have a job and a normal life if you do things correctly and you don't commit another crime, of course. And that is something that I don't know if I'm mistaken with this, but Billy were all his life in this kind of situations without freedom, and I believe that he deserved to have a normal life, but no one ever let him. Even one time when he was a free man, he bought a house, a farm, and he was a neighbor of the sheriff's son of the place, of that city, and the sheriff was angry to have Billy living in his town, and people says that even once the sheriff said that if he had to pay to somebody to kill Billy, he was able or capable to do it. So I believe that no one let Billy have a normal life ever. When he was a child, he had a rough time with his stepfather, and then when he grew up, he committed crimes. He went to do his time in psychiatrist institutions, and he deserved to have a life. But no one let him forget what he's done. So at the end, he fought and fought in court about that, and at the end someone said that he wasn't a danger person, so he was free, and he went to, I believe, Los Angeles, maybe, in Las Vegas. Her niece says that he was so smart that he was able to make money there in Las Vegas, but also he spent it all. So at the end, he called her sister and asked her if he could go back home, and she told him that yes, of course. And she bought him a mobile home, and he used to live of painting. It's something that he used to love. And then he died of cancer in 2014 at the age of 59 years old. So for me, this is like a sad story, because if you think about it, people don't get used to handle this kind of situations of behaviors or disorders that people can have when it's a mental ill. It's hard to people to help someone else. Like, I don't know, I believe that sometimes we don't believe like that is something bad, but sometimes people can die from this. People can die of depression. People can kill if they have a mental illness, like schizophrenia, like I don't know, things like this, Billy, like multiple personalities. So he was in. There was a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists studying Billy and their behavior like for 3 months, and they found out like 10 different personalities. So he was very fragmented. His personality was very fragmented. And also with time, when he had the idea of write a book about the things that or his personalities, this guy were to know Billy, and they were like sharing a lot of time together, like almost a year, I believe. And with a lot of studies, even more, people are not sure about it, but they think that maybe they discovered like Billy was having like 24 different personalities. So only you can imagine this kind of situation. I believe that is awful. Have this kind of life, because he was struggle with this. Her mother says that sometimes he was wonder, like he was at school and he suffered for a lack of memory, because sometimes he was in school, and when he realized he was at home, but he don't know what happened in the meantime. So that could be something awful, because you have a lot of personalities living in you, in your mind, and they can control your body and control you, because they decided, depending on the situation, if you are able to resist or to handle a kind of situation or a kind of stress. So they put you into sleep. So you went to sleep, and then another personality come out and take care of your body. So, and the awful thing is that no one knows what the other personality does. So that is something difficult. I believe that is something very difficult, a difficult way to live. When you feel like, if you're this kind of person that you can be able to feel empathy for people around you, it's something harsh. Have this kind of life, because you always be misunderstood, and you can have a lot of trouble in the process. So I believe that this is it. I don't know if you like to watch this. I recommend you. It's interesting for this kind of situation, because it make you wonder if it was Billy really sick, or like people said in the documentary, he was a con man. He was faking it all the time, and if he do that, if he was able to fake it, how smart he was, because he fooled everyone all his life. So I believe that this is all that I have to share for now. And when I found another thing to watch or read, that could be interesting for me, of course, I let you know with another podcast. Thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate if you have feedback.